Good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning, but we are still reeling from and still reacting to that remarkable press conference that President Obama held on Friday of last week. Now, most of that press conference was all about his plea that the Europeans get out there and bail out the Spanish banks and everybody else that needs a bailout. But if you listen carefully, and a lot of people in the media were, he also said the private sector is doing just fine. That created a furor, as they say. Well, we've been doing some checking, and so has Investors Business Daily. They've been looking at the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the actual numbers on how the private sector is really doing, and particularly in terms of jobs. How about this? From January of 2008, that was the peak employment for the private sector. Since then, the private sector has lost just over 4 million jobs. That's from the peak private sector peak employment period in January 2008 to now. The private sector has shed 4.01 million jobs. Government in general has lost 407,000 jobs from that peak in January of 2008. But here's this. Federal employment, the number of workers at the federal level has gone up from January of 2008 to now by 225,000. So that means that President Obama was flat out wrong. In the sense of employment, the private sector is not doing just fine. The federal government is, and you've got to pay for it. Well, we'll be looking at the polls today to see if there's any impact on the president's standing in the polls as the result of all that bad news that he got last week. We're also, of course, looking at the Spanish bank bailout. Is this the first of many? And where to from here? Big show coming up 3 hours from now, and I hope you can join us.